Hey, you. Yeah, you. See this button right here? Press it. Subscribe to the channel. Shalom.
What that mama got on the dress, right? So God is all about a dress code. And as a nation, as a tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Manasseh, as Israelites, as the sons of God, daughters of God, God has a dress code, and He wants you to keep that dress code. Otherwise, He's going to look at His children in disgust. Just like my sons, I got two boys. If they walk down with their pants sagging, showing their cracks, I'm going to look at them in disgust because I know that's not a proper dress code.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So what does that sound like to you, sisters? What does that sound like? When a man wears a woman's clothes, Martin Lawrence, Big Mama,
Medea,
Tyler Perry, what's the ball players wearing dresses? What do we call them? Dennis Rodman, what do they call that today? What is that called when a man dresses like a woman? Or a woman dresses like a man? Like, remember Lucille Ball might be the dress, they call it cross-dressing. I'm going to give it to you. Cross-dressing. And God says all that do so are what?
For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Is an abomination a good or bad thing? Bad. Both definitely. It's a thing of disgust. So when a woman wears a garment that pertains to a man, God sees it as an abomination. So I see, now I'm going to bring something out. You two love God? You love God? You love God? Does she speak English?
Yeah,
She's shy? Okay. You love God, right? So you say you love God. Let's give me that John 14. God says if you love Him, you keep His commandments. All right? But if you don't do it, what does that make you? A sinner? What else? A hypocrite, right? Let's get to go read it though.
John chapter 14 and verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments.
If you what?
If you love me, keep my commandments.
What color is that written in, Soldier Sam?
Red.
Red. So when it's written in red, who's talking in the Bible? Jesus the Christ, right? So He says, if you love me, keep my commandments. Okay? Now we're going to read that. We're going to go back to Deuteronomy 22 and 5. This is a commandment that's given to the children of Israel.
Deuteronomy 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Because pants were given to the men. You got to understand, from the time of Abraham to the time of, I'll say pants, probably women really started wearing pants around 1948. That's about 4,000 plus years, and then something changed suddenly in 1948. And then, because I know when I was born in something, when I was born in the 60s, my sisters and my mom, I never saw them in dresses. They didn't start wearing pants until 1972. I think in that book about the pants. Oh, you can stop that. Yeah. Pants. Gloria Steinem. You ever hear of her? Gloria Steinem. Just so we got time, give me 5 minutes for a little history, and then just a little history. It's a little thin paperback book, okay? Because pants were given to men. Now, when a woman wears pants, what does it do to her body? It accentuates. It shows the curves, the figure, the buttocks, the front part does. You know what I mean? You see all that. Now, if a man is looking at that, and some men, they would say, ooh, look at that boy. You know, they're going to lust. It's going to entice lust for the men. It's going to cause them to do what? To sin. Now the nation shall fall into all manner of wickedness. So this is a historical book. We're going to read the history of women in America. Right here. So read the title for the sisters.
A History of Women in America by Carol Himwitz and Michelle Wiseman.
Okay. And this is pushed throughout the states, and during this time under Christianity, these things were pushed on our people, right? Because God, we just read Deuteronomy 22:5, a woman should not wear that pertaining to the man, neither shall a man wear that pertaining to the woman. All that do so are what? What did God say? Or they are considered what? Starts with the word A. Abomination, right?
This is page 102. These trousers,
It says these trousers, pants, breeches,
were first worn by Elizabeth Smith Miller, Stanton's cousin. Miller designed the first trouser outfit herself in 1850, but inspiration seems to have come from her father, Garrett Smith.
jump over here right here.
Page 103. Elizabeth Smith Miller took her father's advice.
Now, her father was, you would call, what would that be called today? Like an activist, pushing agendas and things of that nature. So he was pushing for women in the 1800s to wear pants.
She sold herself a pair of ballooning trousers
Bloomers.
and wore them underneath a knee-length skirt.
So she wore, notice that she knitted her pair of bloomers. And she already had a skirt on, but she threw these pants underneath.
Stanton soon followed her cousin's lead, and she in turn was followed by her friend Amelia Bloomer.
Drop down here.
By modern standards, bloomers were hardly revealing. When they first appeared, however, many people thought them indecent.
So during this time period, they were considered indecent for women to wear pants, my sister, okay? Read on. Read right here. It started at Bloomer's cause.
Bloomers caused a great public outcry.
So we're just talking about how the dress code changed, how this abomination came into being, because God says in Deuteronomy 22:5, woman that wears a man's apparel are an abomination unto God. And you went into the restroom, what do you think would be on the doors right now? How do you how is it designated a man or woman's facility? What's on the door right now? What picture? Yeah, but guy or girl, what's the guy got on? What's the image? And the woman's got on what? A dress. So it's nothing like with the tights you got on, you can continue on cold days to wear that. Just throw a nice, lovely skirt on. You would gain more attraction with a dress. Because why? God, you're as a royal, let's get that woman's modest apparel. You already go, you in the spirit.
1 Timothy 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, thou women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
Even that word adorn, doesn't that sound regal? Let the woman adorn themselves in modest apparel. See, like the dress the lady got on right there, that's a nice dress. And it's below the knees, but you see it's got a little split. Now you got to get rid of that split. We can't have all that showing. You can have a nice dress, flowy dress. Anyone pull up a picture of a woman in modest apparel? Let's show them some of our sisters in modest apparel real quick. I just want you sisters to look at that because you got nieces looking at you two ladies. Don't you got some nieces, some other younger sisters? You got a daughter, and she's going to be looking at mama. Mom, what mama wear? So the scripture says, so is the daughter, so is the mother. So is the daughter. She's going to be just like her mom. So you got to set the example. Show that sister some examples while we read this again.
In like manner also, thou women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair.
So with shamefacedness, Shamefacedness goes into shyness. The definition of shamefaced is eyes cast down. Let's read that one more time.
Women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness.
So shamefacedness, are our women shamefaced today? Shamefaced, if you look up the definition in the dictionary of shamefaced, it means eyes cast down, shy. No, most women, nah, nigga, I'm all in you. They be like, oh, no. They be looking in your face, looking dead in the eyes, or they'll be out in the cut, and they be like, oh, how you doing, daddy? So a woman shouldn't be that way. She should be shamefaced, eyes cast down, read on.
With shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array.
So nothing wrong with having braided hair. It's just not, all flamboyant and whatnot, okay? Different colors, red, blue, pink, green. Well, rock with your natural stuff. God is the author of beauty. He established the trends. And the nation, and his children follow those trends, and the nations follow us. Okay? We already know that the nations follows everything we do. Now, going back to this dress code thing. Now, you can put on a lovely dress. Give me that Proverbs 30 and 25, I think. Or it says, strength and honor in her
I think it's Proverbs 31.
30, where's that? Strength and honor, 30 and 25. 31, 25. Proverbs 31, yeah, 25.
Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing.
So this goes into multiple, because in Proverbs 31, if you read earlier, she's making garments, she's making fabric. So strength and honor go in their clothing. You read in the book of Maccabees, it says that the men put on glorious warlike apparel. That glorious warlike apparel was made by the women. So here it says strength and honor are in her clothing. That's how she dresses, and also it's twofold. Goes into the garments that she makes for the men, the garments that she makes for Israel. Like in the book of Acts, we had Dorcas that made these raw coats, and people were coming miles out to buy these coats from Dorcas.
And she shall rejoice in the time to come.
So you see the dress the young lady got on? That's a perfect one. See how regal that looks? That's a lovely flowing dress. So you can wear that over your tights. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to show your figure. Now, what should be at the bottom of that dress? You see these Native American women? You see those fringes on those Native American women? And if you look at some of the Incas, the Aztecs, the Mayans, their dress code, they have fringes and a border of blue. Why did they have that fringes and border of blue? It's to remind them of something. Let's see what it is to remind them of.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them.
So those fringes are to remind us to keep God's laws. And by you remembering to keep those God's laws, we read in the Deuteronomy how you have to teach those to your children diligently unto your children, right? Okay? So those are crazy drivers here in San Francisco. We already know that, right? So what are some of the things that you ladies can do to come back to greatness? Some of the things we covered, just so I'll make sure you got it, because we covered 2 key factors that you two can do to make a change in your life and also in that young lad's life. So this is a pop quiz before you go. Appearance. So what about the appearance? Can you come say it on the mic? I want you to come say it on the mic because there's other people listening. People across the street. The Bart, come on. Who's gonna say it? Okay, appearance. I'll repeat it for you. You said appearance is one. What's the other one? Appearance. So what does that include? The dress code, right? So what was the commandment that we gave you? Deuteronomy 22:5. One more time. Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Okay. So we know that you said appearance, so appearance goes back to changing into what? So you're not an abomination unto God. To put on a skirt. Now the skirt goes below the knee, because anything above the knee, when you sit down, what's going to happen to that skirt? And it's going to show them, then what are the men going to do? They're going to, when they look, they're going to do what? Huh? They're going to think inappropriately. Now we got what in the nation? We got whoredom. We got lust. And now the land is cast. Let's get that 7 and 9. Second Chronicle. 9. Try 9 and 7. Second Chronicles 9. 9 and 7. Let's see. 19. Go back to 7. Second Chronicles. Where it says, "I'll pluck you up by the roots." I think it's.
That's a little vague.
Second Chronicles.
That's a little vague.
9.
There we go.
I'm gonna try First Chronicles. Try First Chronicles. First Chronicles 5. First Chronicles 5, 7, and First Chronicles 7 and 9. Try First Chronicles 7 and 9.
I don't know it.
Hold on, sis. 7 and 9. I will pluck them up by the roots.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up on my
So
phone.
those are some of the things that we can change. So you got to come back to God's laws and His statutes. So another pop quiz. What's modest? What would be considered modest apparel? The Bible says, "Let a woman adorn the dress."
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.